So the reason that we decided that we wanted to do an externship program was in going around, as Maggie had mentioned, to different publishers, we realized that there is a need to educate people in the industry in terms of the sort of digital universe. And we realized, I go to a lot of conferences where there are seminars and people are speaking, but I always found that they were speaking to sort of the people who were the presidents or the vice presidents, and the information that people are getting have not filtered down to folks like you, and you're the ones that are actually need to know this information and to learn the tools and to see where the opportunities are. And so I figured if we created, and Maggie as well, we talked about this, in terms of creating a forum, whether it's a digital publishing group or this, which is really will give you hands-on experience in using the tools. I think this is a great step to kind of educating the industry, and I encourage you all to really talk about what you're learning and share it with people, and whether it's your bosses or other people in your houses, because I think it's vital for the industry as it grows and moves, looking at where book sales are and moving into the digital realm. So this is our sort of contribution to the industry and growing it. And at the same time, I really want to give each of you an opportunity to grow and to for your own careers, because as you all know, it's a scary time out there, and I think that if you really take this program that we'll be describing seriously and delve into it, I think that you can really benefit, not just from your current position, but in your future position, and really sort of make a name for yourself. Because in going around to different houses, as you can all appreciate, or most of you appreciate, there aren't that many people who are particularly sophisticated in this area. So I think that if you learn, and you can take this program seriously or not, and do as much as you want with it or as little, but I encourage you to really use this as an opportunity to do as much as you can, knowing obviously that most of you have full-time jobs, but I think that in the end you can really greatly benefit. So that's the introduction to the program. Should I talk a little bit about DailyLit? Okay. So I don't know if you all have had a chance to delve into what DailyLit does, but as a brief overview, DailyLit lets you read books or parts of books that come in very short installments directly into your email inbox or via your RSS feed. We developed DailyLit, originally my husband and I, because we didn't have time to read. So we thought that email and RSS, starting with email, was something that we were doing every day. And so this was really a tool for for us personally to be able to read books. So we started, my husband actually happens to be he has a PhD from MIT in information technology and programs for fun on the side. So, right, exactly. So it's perfect. So he actually mocked up the initial program, and I want to bring him in certain times to really educate you all, because he is an incredible resource in terms of whether it's social media or production or just sort of more sophisticated kinds of ways around the web. He also knows a ton of people around New York and elsewhere who are involved in the digital universe. So I think he's an incredible resource for us to learn as a group. And when I say we learning as a group, I'm learning this, and Maggie's learning this, and Laura's learning this. We're sort of all learning this together, and that's kind of the fun of it. It's not, I don't look at this as, well, we're teaching you. I think we all need to share experiences, figuring out together really what's working, what's not, who's discovering what kind of tool, why is this tool working in this area not, and using this as a platform, and I think Laura will be talking later about conference calls that we can have, and using being in other places to kind of touch base with each other. But to your point, this is really an opportunity to kind of keep us all on track and focused on learning these tools and doing them methodically and kind of trying different things. So So anyway, I think it's an exciting time, and so that's sort of the gist of how we started and where we connected with the community.
That's good. Now you can talk about projects.
The project. Okay. So in thinking about the externship program, what I realized is there's sort of two ways we could go. We could kind of like assign you little granular things to do and little projects that you could go off and do and come back. And you know, what I really realized was the best way for you guys to get experience was really to center yourselves and to select one project that you work on. And you know, I can talk a little bit more about how you define your project, but the basic idea behind this is for you to identify a particular area of interest. Now it might be connected with your work as in children's, or it might be connected with a particular hobby that you might have or a passion. It might be you know, that you secretly are a knitter, you know, and that's the community, that's the kind of thing that you love to do. Or maybe it's, you know, science fiction, whatever, you know, whatever it is that sort of moves you and that you're passionate about. I think that's where you should really center the project around. And with that project, that'll give you an opportunity to be able to explore the different tools that we'll be talking about. And what I want you to do with this project is, once you identify it, is you're going to be responsible for you know, creating the content, so identifying what the general scope of the project is, creating the content or working with others to create the content. And we can talk a little bit about, you know, your role as either an editor or a writer yourself. And then you're going to be responsible for doing the production around the project, whether it's working with an outside production house or internally using our tools. Then you're going to be, and this, by the way, project will be centered, because we're at DailyLit, it will be centered around the idea of serialization. So the idea of, you know, having 50 or 100 different parts to it. And I think you'll find that this is sort of an interesting realm, because there's a lot that you can do with day-to-day content being delivered. And again, we can talk, I'll talk in a second about the kinds of projects that or the ways that you can utilize this sort of serialization. But as I was saying, so the identifying of the editorial content, moving to production, moving to launching of it, and then all along building a community around your area of interest or getting involved with an existing community, and that will allow you to use the social media tools that we'll be talking about, and then really marketing the project and getting out there and having fun with it. So really it's taking you from the beginning all the way through conception, production, marketing, and to the end game of getting it out to as many people as possible, with you leading the charge. So every one of you will be identifying a separate project. How does that sound to you guys as a basic? I'm seeing nods. That's good. I'll take it. In terms, should I talk about a little bit about serialization aspect, or what should we do?
I think maybe we'll talk about just on rights and licensing issues, and because you're wondering about, you know, if you don't want to write the content yourself, which some people may not be interested in doing, you know, how we can work with them to
yeah, one thing to keep in mind as you identify the project and either work with third parties or not is to make sure that whatever project you're doing, that you can either control the rights, meaning the content is available for you to use, meaning for instance, classic books is a great example. Well, anybody can use those rights. Or if you're working with others, to make sure that you actually get the rights to the content. We're very careful about not using content that we're not allowed to or that we don't have the rights to.